Hey YouTube, how y'all doing today? Okay, so today I'm riding with cousin. Say hey, cousin.
Hi.
Alright, so listen, I'm not gonna show her face because of the simple fact of the matter. I know some of y'all people, y'all be lunch. Ugh. And y'all be trying to like dox people. And I ain't gonna have y'all on here trying to dox my cousin. So that's her name, cousin. Cousin. So listen, y'all. We were talking about our time in the military. And y'all, I'm taping this because we have the most lively discussions when we're riding. Yeah. We have the most lively discussions. And I just want y'all to join in on my discussions that we be having when we be riding. And I'm going to put this one on the Veterans Lounge because we're going to talk military situations.
Yes.
All right. So cousin was in one branch of the service and I was in the Army. She was in another branch of the service and I was in the Army. Bam. Catch that one. But listen, no, seriously. Yeah, so one of the things that we always talk about are females and the way they were living. I always say, when I went in the military, I found out that females were some of the nastiest things in the world. What about you?
Definitely. You would not believe the level of filth, but more importantly, the level of ignorance as to what they were supposed to do. I don't know if there's a disconnect between the family life.
Hey.
Girl, best smoking.
Girl, you see that little doggy ass?
Where's his teeth?
I don't know where his teeth are or his shirt. Did he have shoes? On his back row with? Girl, I know his feet.
Hell's bells.
Girl, he walk on the face of the sun. Cause then you know this ground hot.
Jesus.
This ground hot with flip flops.
The devil's toenails.
Oh God.
Okay.
Oh Jesus. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, y'all would not believe what we see on these back roads. You might see anything. I don't know where his teeth are. And then his head was just as greasy.
Lord Jesus bless his heart.
That's I haven't showered in about a month.
Yeah. And I don't worry about soap running down my leg. The soap don't touch me at all.
Ooh, Jesus, because soap show ain't touched that greasy head. Because white folks usually don't have hair that greasy.
If nothing else is worse to hear it.
Okay. Well, we were talking about the level of ignorance.
The level of ignorance with not knowing how to take care of their bodies, not knowing how to properly wash. And I'm not just saying this as a spectator. I'm saying this as someone who worked in the medical field. And I'm not going to say my title because it's distinctive and you wouldn't know what branch of service I was in. But I could not believe the things that I was treating. I could not believe the things that I was seeing. It was just, and hearing, it was just incredible. And I really don't, I'm still to this day baffled by the level of ignorance that I was encountering in a lot of these young women.
Okay, so this is my question to you, cousin. What I found out is that certain females were more prone to be nastier than others.
Yes.
For instance, we had a young lady that was she was an Eskimo. She really was an Eskimo. Mm-hmm. This chick was about 6'3". And we kept, I don't know if I told you the story about how we kept finding those open sanitary products.
Yes.
Open used sanitary products on the back of the toilet. And we were trying to figure out who it was. And we found out who it was that day. And we let the our NCOIC know, our drill sergeant know. And I bet you after that day she learned what she was supposed to do with her sanitary products, or used sanitary products.
But then you look at that situation, right? And I guess because this is how she grew up in her household, this is what she was used to. She didn't know any different. So that's a level of ignorance. Or was it a cultural disconnect, or I don't know. I don't know what it is and why. Well, once you're in the setting of at least 50 other women, and you saw no one else doing that, I just wonder why would you think that that would be appropriate? And you could always ask questions of other women too, even if that was not what you culturally grew up doing. There has to be a basic level of sanitation when you're not your own little island. You live with at least 25 to 50 other people.
And my question to her was, what in the world happened to you in AIT? Because, I mean, not AIT, in basic training, because she got all the way to AIT still doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Either that or you were mad at the person that had to clean up the bathroom, which was me.
And then again, when you think about it too, with certain level of uncleanliness and unhygienic practice, there's a lot of things, mental things behind that.
That's true.
Sometimes
That's
that can
true.
be a cry for help in a lot of cases. People who don't take care of their hygiene problem, hygiene often have mental health problems. Sometimes there's been sexual assault has happened, and that's a cry for help with some people. But I just, a practice like that when it's so public, where it's not like, I don't know if she was unhygienic in her body altogether, it was just during her time of her menstrual, but what is that signaling? Why are you doing this? I mean, you could not have, like I said, unless it's a cultural thing, and I don't think people walk around sticking sanitary products on the back of toilets, unless were you doing this in high school? When did you start playing this out? When did you start doing this?
And the sad part about it is, okay, you know that there are, just as in public bathroom stalls, most bathrooms have the little baggies and stuff like that, this place where you could dispose of these type of things. And that's what I didn't understand.
So when she was confronted, what was her explanation?
Girl, certain things are above my pay grade. At the time, that was way above my pay grade. All I had to do was let the drill sergeant know.
Who it was?
It was her. And I don't care. I know snitches get stitches, but not this snitch. I'm telling.
No, because that's a blood product, and that's a danger. That could potentially be a harm to anyone else. Probably she did not have hepatitis or whatever, because
I mean, but as you know, that chlamydia runs rampant.
Bloodborne pathogens.
Bloodborne pathogens. And just because she might have not had hepatitis that was detectable then,
right, or
HIV that was detectable when she came in, who's to say that she didn't have it?
Right. Well, she hadn't had a contact since the last test.
Exactly. So we really don't know.
Yeah.
We really don't know. And it's about, I'm going to tell you guys, what people don't realize, the military is more or less about, they strict on hygiene because it is so many people together in close quarters. That's why they sleep you head to toe. Because if you sleeping face to face, if one person got a upper respiratory issue, you could wipe out the whole division with an upper respiratory issue because y'all sleeping face to face.
It still could happen, but more less of a chance of it happening with that. And then too, it's a readiness thing, of course. When we talk about taking out a whole division or whomever, it's a readiness thing. And who wants to be subjected to, if you're in a company of 60 other individuals and 20 of them smell bad, that's more than a quarter of who you're dealing with. Who in the world wants to deal with the mental anguish?
Who has the mental bandwidth to deal with all of that?
Along with whatever else you have to deal with too, when you're in a stressful situation like you is, when you're in boot camp, when you're deployed, whatever.
Plus, on top of that, guess what? If you stink, the enemy, if I smell you, I know the enemy smell you.
Well, sometimes it's good to stink in the field sometimes. You kind of blend in. You smelling good, that may be a little odd.
Well, I'm not saying smell good. I'm just saying, though.
Not be so
offensive.
Yes.
Not be so offensive.
Definitely.
But the other thing we talked about, all right, so we talked about that. We talked about, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, you would not believe some of the things that we've seen. Like, for instance, I'm going to tell you, if you're a young lady and you're going into the military, please wear those grandma panties, cotton, especially in basic training and boot camp. Basic training boot camp, AIT, your school, your specialty school. Because I'm going to tell you, first off, those grandma whites will show you if there's anything wrong with you. First off, am I correct?
Yes, and I guess I'm telling my age because when I came to boot camp, that was all we could have was white undies, full undies. There was no bikini wearing, no thong wearing. No, I'm not going to wear any underwear wearing. No, we all had on whiteys, for lack of a basic term. We all had on whiteys. I don't know if boot camp has changed since then and you're allowed to wear any kind of underwear that you wanted to have, because of course we all remember they had to be folded a certain way, so they had to be a certain size.
Yeah.
So you to fold them a certain way. So, but yes, you at least cotton in the crotch. Once you get out of boot camp and you want to wear whatever you want to wear, but it's always a good idea for you to wear some type of cotton crotch underwear because it's breathable. And you need to have your vocal area needs to be able to breathe. It needs to be able to
you need to get some air down there on that thing.
Yeah.
You need to let that thing air out. All of that sweat. I mean, because you got to think about it. In basic training AIT, you do a lot of exercise and you do a lot of walking, you do a lot of moving around, and you don't usually have time to rest. And it's not like you're going to be able to take 3 and 4 showers a day.
Or you want to be able to change. You barely have time to take care of your sanitary needs if it's still the same as it used to be.
Exactly.
And along with trying to, keep yourself dry and clean and comfortable.
And so, live down there, cotton is the best thing.
Yes.
Fibers other than cotton don't breathe as well.
And the whole moisture.
Right, they hold moisture, and that's the thing you don't want. You don't want moisture next to your skin because that moisture breaks down your skin
and causes changes in pH that could be detrimental to your vaginal health.
And that's what we're trying to do. Tell you take care of your vajayjay.
Yes, ladies, it's gonna be with you for a lifetime. So
you stuck with it. You only get one.
And make sure it's in the best condition that it can be in for the term of your lifetime. But it's not only vaginal problems. People. I don't know if some people wouldn't shower because once they got out of the situation where they're forced to shower, you would have people who wouldn't shower, and I don't know if it's because, like I say again, I don't know if it's this cultural thing. I don't know. Some people are shy to the point where they have a hard time showering in front of a group of people when you're living in the communal area. There could be a myriad of explanations for it, but all of those are just excuses because at least once a day you need to shower.
Okay, first off, I was the modest chick. I ain't want to shower in front of people. But guess what?
You can shower at night.
I didn't get to the point where I wasn't so modest that I didn't want to wash my butt.
And you have to understand that in the situation that you're in, I hope that had been explained to people. If anyone who's watching this and coming into the military, you're going to be naked in front of a lot of people. A lot of people. And every purple moon, they may not be of the same sex. So that's just something you have to take. Now,
say that again.
Every purple moon, you may not be with people of the same sex because you never know what situation you're going to find yourself in.
That's true, because when I went to the field, I would end up being the couple of times that I did end up in the field, and I wasn't in a barracks. I had to be in the field. I had to be in a tent with a bunch of men, and I would be the only female. And so, guess what? I saw dingles dangle.
And that's where the maturity level come in at. And no one saying that you're going to be all the ways in the situation. And those are usually extenuating
extenuating circumstances.
Thank you. You're not going to always be. I don't want anyone thinking that we're saying, oh, you're always going to be naked in a bunch of guys. No, that's not going to happen. But there will be certain situations where you will have to take care of your personal needs, and you may not have the level of privacy that you were used to. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that you have to have the mentality to know that I'm going to take care of my situation no matter what's going on, and you have to be creative with ways of taking care of your personal situation. But nevertheless, the thing about not showering, you need to shower, and you need to wash the bacteria off of your body every day. Especially in those areas where you produce bacteria that causes odor. Your underarms, behind your ears, in your inguinal area, and your crotch, between your butt cheeks and the back of your knees are the odor producing areas in your body.
Your foots.
And your feet, yes. And shower water running over your feet does not count as washed feet. That does not count as washed feet.
I'm going to tell you, I laugh all the time about the story about the roommate that I had. I had a black roommate from France. Well, her mom was from France and her dad was Haitian. But she was originally from she was from San Bernardino, California. Okay? So she had a Valley girl accent, but she was darker than I am, with very straight hair. Okay? She was hilarious. Alphonse. And I'm going to call her last name. Alphonse. That was her last name. So Alphonse had this, and we were cool. Alphonse was straight up and down the stick. You know what she reminded me of? Wendy Williams. Mm-hmm. Wendy Williams. You know how Wendy Williams got the big bust and no rest of the body? Mm-hmm. That was Alphonse. But she was so cool. And then we had this other, we ended up with a white roommate. I don't know who this chick was and where she came from, but she was a dental tech. Yes, a dental tech. So, because of this situation, they ended up changing our barracks to where you had to room with people in your section. We couldn't, they didn't want us cross, because of this situation. What happened is, they put this girl in our room, and this girl, her feet stank, her body stank. She said she was taking a shower or a bath. Now, look, you guys, by this time we're in a barracks, and we have a bathroom with a bathtub and a door that closes, so you have all your modesty and privacy. There's nobody in there watching you. You're able to do what you need to do. But our room used to be the party room, though, too, also, because we used to cook and we had people over. We had drinks, Mm-hmm. So our room was the party room. I worked in supply, so I had a large refrigerator, so I was able to hold more beer and mm-hmm. wine and drinks and stuff like that. And myself and Alphonse always said, you can come over and hang out with us, but you got to contribute. Part of contribute was you either put $5. We had a huge family-sized box of Arm & Hammer soap powder right there next to the door. So everybody in our room, we could use the same soap powder and bleach. We had bleach and fabric softener and all that stuff. But the box, we would tell guys or anybody that come in, the admission was either $5 or you had to put some beer in the refrigerator or whatever. And most of the time, guys would come in, open the box, and throw $5 in there. Mm-hmm. So, girl, we had a lot of money in there. People would come in there, they'd be throwing money in there to hang out at our room, because we were always partying, having drinks or whatever. Well, this girl moved in, and she killed our vibe because she was stink. This girl was so stink. And so it was so bad that Alphonse would get up in the middle of the night when the girl came back in there. And the girl would come in real late at night. As soon as that girl came in there, Alphonse knew she was in there. That girl would get in bed. Alphonse would get up and get the Lysol and spray that girl cover so. Because all she had was the military issue bedding. You know, the rest of us, you know, we get the basic, we get to our, you know, duty station, you know, we try to beautify our section. Not her. She had just the regular bedding. Alphonse would get the Lysol and spray that girl blanket, that wool blanket at night, real, a whole lot. And she'd be like, oh, she just stink. She just stink. So I told the girl, you know, you might want to take a bath. You know, I kept, because, you know, I'm the nice one. Look, sweetie, you might want to take a bath. You might want to wash up. You might want to throw those tennis shoes away and get you a new pair because you don't wear socks. You might want to put socks on. Yeah, she didn't wear socks. And, you know, we were in the desert. So this day in particular, we were all there partying. We were having a party. We were frying chicken, and we had the food going, you know. And the guys were getting their plates. Ladies were coming in getting their plates. You know, different people from the barracks were coming in eating. And she came in. I guess she was going out with her boyfriend. She went to go jump in the shower. This young lady was from Kentucky, y'all. She was from the Appalachians. So she ran in, and she, you know, she put a towel around her, and she pulled her panties down and kicked them up in a locker. So we didn't see, you know what I'm saying? And we were all on my side and Alphonse's side. We were, you know, we weren't paying no attention. Well, one of our male friends came in, and the door opened to her locker, and them panties fell out. Girl, them panties was OD green in the seat. They were OD green.
Well, obviously something else was going on contributing to that stench.
Exactly.
And a non-washed body, but my Lord.
And it was so bad. So, of course, you know, the guys seen that, and they let half. You know, they went ham in there, right? It got so bad I had to put everybody out the room, including Alphonse. Because the girl was in the bathroom. You could hear her audibly crying. She was in the bathroom. God forgive me. I ain't mean to laugh, but she was in there audibly crying. Girl, I think that's on the outside. Girl, if that bug would have been in here, we both would have ran in the back of that truck.
No, I'm saying every bug crawling.
Girl, you ain't the only one. But what ended up happening is that I got everybody out the room, and I called her out the bathroom. She wouldn't come out. I was like, look, everybody gone. You need to come out the bathroom right now. We need to have this conversation. First off, I gave her a bar of ivory soap. Y'all, she needs some ivory. She needs something without some, you know what I'm saying? She needs something to clean all of that.
But what was actually, I mean, she was going to the shower. But
I don't think she was bathing.
Okay.
I don't think she was bathing. I think when she went in there, she said she was going in there to take a bath. Because I ain't never see her, like, take soap, washcloth, and, you know, like washing, body wash or nothing like that. I never seen her do that. So, y'all, I ended up giving her a washcloth. I gave her the rag. I gave her the soap. And I told her, you know, you need to lather this up and use the rag to wash your body. And then after you wash your face, wash your face first. Don't use the same rag you're going to use to wash your body to wash your face. Wash your face first. Then after you wash your face, then you wash your body. And the last place is you wash your vajayjay and your butt. And you got to use, I know you might not want to touch it, but you got to use the wash rag to dig into those crooks and crevices. Come on now, cousin. You know you got to use the wash rag to touch the crooks and crevices. You might be shower modest or whatever, but you got to do what you got to do. Because don't nobody want to be around a stank foot and a stank butt. The other thing is, I had been asking her to throw her tennis shoes away, y'all. Why I threw them tennis shoes out the window? Because they had to go. Them sneakers had to go.
But she was a dental tech, so how was her dental hygiene? That's incredible that she would know that you have to keep your mouth clean and clean the bacteria out of your mouth. And
Girl, I don't know how to.
Disease, a tooth decay.
Okay, first off, I don't even know how she even serviced anybody. I don't even know how she serviced anybody. Because with that uniform smelling the way it was smelling, you wasn't going to be over me.
And nothing worse than you not feeling well and your medical person smells. There's nothing worse than smelling that when you don't feel well. Whether they cleaning your teeth, checking you in, or doing anything. Oh my goodness.
I mean, and that
imagine.
goes for medical people, like certain people that eat garlic. Or different foods that come out of there.
What's coming out of that mouth.
Yeah.
But anywho, back to that hygiene. Back to the hygiene thing. So, I guess since we encounter so many different people in our branches of the military, I guess I'm asked. What my question would be: do we think that this is a cultural thing? Do we think it's just a level of ignorance and disconnect? Because we all know people have stink since the dawn of time for whatever different reasons. But I had never encountered so many people who didn't know, who really basically did not know how to bathe themselves. And I don't know how you grew up to be at least 18 years old and not knowing basic hygiene. And we're seeing a recurrence of this too with these and the reason why we're talking about this because it's such a major topic lately. It's been such a major topic on all social media platforms. There are even videos of people showing people how to bathe, the order in which to bathe and what to bathe with.
That is true. That is true. and the thing is, I feel bad because I think part of it is parenting, poor parenting. Their parents never showed them how to clean, so they never were able to show their children how to clean. I think part of it is that. I just had this conversation on one of the guys' videos this morning. Gold Professor, we were talking about this morning. He was talking about circumcised and uncircumcised gentlemen, and he was talking about how you gotta, when a guy is uncircumcised, you have to really explain to them how to really care for their themselves. And I was explaining to him, as a former teacher, I taught special needs children, so I had to have. It was times when I had to change diapers. It was times when I had to go into the bathroom with children to help them use the bathroom and things of that nature and clean themselves. And we would have to tell them and teach them to clean themselves and things of that nature. And everybody is not comfortable having this level of conversation with others.
That's true.
And I think that is the issue. Parents need to be having age-appropriate conversations with their children.
Right.
A lot of parents don't have these conversations with their children.
Right.
I'm not a parent. Let me put that disclaimer out there. But Cuzzo is.
And I'm a grandparent.
And Cuzzo is a grandparent.
Of boys.
Oh, boys.
And I have had to have conversation with my grandsons about hygiene. When they were preteens and even now as teens, and you have to be explicit because they will go in the shower and they would just come out wet and they will still smell like a bunch of goats. So the question is, well, what did you wash and how did you wash it and what did you wash it with? Because you still smell like you just came out the barnyard. What is going on? And you have to be explicit. It was one to the point where my daughter, and he has been taught how to bathe, but when he was about 11, she had to physically watch him take a shower. She said, okay, get in the water, show me how you shower. Because he would stink all the time. In and out the shower, he would still stink. So what he would do, he would wash his face, he would wash his neck, his arms and everything. wasn't an armpit, a booty hole, or a crotch hit in none of that action. But he would wash his feet. So what in the world is going on, and why aren't you watching the areas which really matter? You know, she was like, well, why wasn't he washing? And he would just do like a little courtesy wipe in the area, but he wasn't getting in between them cheeks, where we all know is a major cause of odor. And he was just like, that's gay. And his mom was like, what do you mean that's gay? Where do you get that from? Come to find out, this is what they were saying when they would shower at school for gym. Nobody was watching in between their butt cheeks because they didn't want anyone to think that they're gay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being gay. We're not saying that. But what we're saying is, it was just something that kids were saying.
Okay, so again, that goes back to, if you don't have that conversation with your children, other children will have that conversation with them, or some adult that you don't trust will have that conversation with them.
So he he knew to wash in between his cheeks, but when he was after gym class where they were showering, and when the other kids saw other kids do, they were saying, oh, that's gay, you know, so they all stopped doing it. So they all walking around with stinky butt cheeks because it was just something that they weren't doing because of the other kids in school. So she had to, you know, tell her, boy, you got to wash between your butt cheeks and in your groin area. And I don't know what was going on with those underarms. That's probably just whatever with him.
It was just hormone change.
Whatever with him. Not washing his underarm thoroughly. But yeah, sometimes when they're young, you just, and then there you go with other factors, like you're saying with communication. She obviously did not know why this boy was stank all the time and not washing his butt, and why he smelled like this, even though he was getting in the shower, but he actually wasn't thoroughly bathing. So there could be an issue like that. Like I was saying earlier, when you got kids in school, they give out those signals, and sometimes it's a cry for help. So you need to look. Sometimes there may be a need to send someone to talk to someone who could better serve what could be a need for them. There could be some issues going on at home that need further investigation. Not that we're saying you need to go that far into it, you know. There are always other issues.
But the thing is, I guess my caveat and the moral to this story that I'm trying to get out, you need to start having these age-appropriate conversations.
Yes, definitely. And then even with adults, there could be medical reasons why they could shower and still smell, and there could be medical reasons behind that. And then there could be, like we said, a lack of disconnect. It could be cultural reasons. There are cultural societies that they bathing and use soap, they just don't use deodorant. You know, it's a cultural thing.
You know what? Because when I was in Germany, a lot of women, because you know, military, and you would run into a lot of women who were foreign born, and it would be this cultural thing. Yeah. And when they would smell a certain way, they were Americanized. You knew they were Americanized when they smelled a certain way, i.e., women of other cultures, of a lot of cultures, during their monthly cycle, they smell like they don't shower. From a lot of different cultures, or a lot of women from other cultures, their armpits stink because they don't wear deodorant or they don't even shave.
Well, you know, there's when we talk about the fact that with deodorants and other things like that, and the smells, and I think I'm going off topic here briefly, but with the smells, when I was in the Middle East, and when I first got there, and I took my first bus ride to go into a city, I was just overwhelmed with the smell. I was just really it was hot. I was nauseated. It was really pretty bad for me, that first initial exposure. By the second week, I was fine because I was used to it. And then I came to realize that it, because we have been Americanized, so to speak. It's not that people, they don't bathe and that their armpits. It's offensive to us because we mask odor, armpit odor with deodorants and certain things like that. And so it would be offensive to us, but after you be there for a while, you kind of get used to it. But it's not, for them, it's not a lack of hygiene as in the fact that they don't bathe, the fact that they don't use those type of deodorant products that we use. And come to find out, they actually have a healthier immune system for those in less exposure to chemicals, as we have discovered that some of the chemicals that are used in deodorants are not very good, especially for women's health with our breasts and things like that. So I'm going on a different tangent.
Like aluminums and things of that nature.
Yeah. Chloride and things like that. But however, back to when it's not.
But sometimes they feel that our smell is offensive to them.
Yeah, because it's chemicalized.
Yeah.
With what we use. But back to the people. Okay, so what if it's not a cultural issue, and what if it's just now? There are just some people who just don't bathe. Let's just come out straight out and say it. There's just some people who just don't
give a damn.
The level of hygiene.
They don't give a damn.
They don't have the level of hygiene that they should, or they bathe every other day, or don't bathe at all, or don't wash their clothing correctly, or I guess this could be a
that was the other thing. You and I, we have a conversation about. Let me tell y'all. Sure used to have a commercial that say, even if you use short, take a bath and use short, even if you go 24 hours and your arms still don't stink. That's true.
Now, I can't do that.
I'm going to say that's true because it has been times where I would have to fly from here to here, and you don't get a chance to get in the tub and wash and this and that and the other because you're on a move like this.
Right.
And I've had situations where my arms didn't stink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I also attribute that to regular protocol when I do have the opportunity to do it, and one of the other things I found is that a lot of people, we think that they're stinking because they're not showering. No, some people are stinking because they're taking clothes out of the dirty clothes hamper. You can't wear clothes out of the dirty clothes hamper, and you can't leave your clothes laying around too long, because what happens is if they lay around too long, they start to have a take on that odor, and you can't get rid of it.
Right. I think what I was saying about when we talking about deodorant, and when she said that she could go 24 hours, when I said that I can't go 24 hours because my deodorant only lasts 8 hours. I'm pushing it at the 8-hour limit. Because I use a deodorant that doesn't have any, because of some particular medical reasons, I use a deodorant that doesn't have any artificial anything in it. It's a more natural deodorant, but it's not, and it's a deodorant, it's not an antiperspirant. And so it doesn't hold like the chemicals up because it doesn't have any chemicals in it. So I can get the 8 hours. I'm pushing it. If it's a hot, sweaty day, I make it a good 6 hours. Sometimes it's only 4, depending on what's going on. So I have to wash and reapply my deodorant if I'm trying to extend it out. But usually by then I'm getting into the shower. But anyway,
yeah, you get into a shower by then, because I don't see you. Look, I laugh because I see you and somebody else I know. I laugh about, because she is such a germaphobe. If she go outside, go to the stores, but soon as she get in the house, she takes a shower.
I'm not that bad.
But she is. She go outside, go to the store, she around people, she going back home, she taking a shower. I'm like, girl, but you going back out. She say so. She say so. I don't care.
I'm not quite to that extent yet, but I know the levels of my deodorant. I know how far I can push this natural deodorant before its strength time has gone away. But with that being said, there's a lot of contributing factors. People not properly washing, people having issues with whatever products they're using. People not knowing what to do. People wearing dirty clothes. People not washing their clothes properly. You know, there's a whole typical myriad of reasons why this can happen. Some people don't think that they should bathe every day. They think every other day is fine. Some people think that they should only wash their face, their armpits, and their groin area, and in their anal region, and then that's fine. They don't wash, you know, their legs and things like that every day. They only wash certain areas. They only wash in the sink and wash certain areas, and they feel like they're perfectly clean and perfectly fine.
Girl, that's what I call a whole bath.
Because that's what I was trying to avoid. That's
what I call a whole bath.
That's exactly what it is. I was trying to avoid saying that, but that's some people. That is some people's basic hygiene. Until then, they may, you know, every whatever day take a shower, and then they take a full shower, you know, and they feel like there's no other parts of their bodies that's dirty, you know. So that's all of them that they wash. I don't know about that philosophy, but I guess if it works for them, if you don't smell them, they feel like they're perfectly clean.
Just because I don't tell you I smell you, don't mean I don't smell you.
You know, or maybe you don't smell them. You know, and maybe we're assuming that they have taken what we consider to be a full shower. I just, you know, I don't know. I guess because I'm a woman of color and I apply oils to my skin, I feel like it's a good idea to remove some of that dirt layer that oils attract. I feel like I need to remove that layer, and then I just need to reapply a moisturizer. I can't not say, oh, I'm not going to wash my legs because I'm going to remove all of the natural oils that are on my leg. Well, after any oil, after it sit for a while, become rancid and start stinking.
That is true. Have you ever had oil that sat on the sink
yes.
Oil that you use to cook food in and let it sit for a minute?
And we're applying these oils to our skin, and they are providing protection layer for our skin. But I know I oil my feet. I walk outside in my sandals. The dust flare up, and the dust and dirt settles on my feet. And I know that I need to wash my feet and wash my legs and body before I get into my bed at night. I'm gonna shower before I get in my bed at night. So I guess if you're not in those circumstances, but I don't know who don't walk outside on their feet. I don't know what you're walking on, and your feet don't get dirty. You don't wash them. I don't know. Your legs don't get dirty in the summertime when you're wearing shorts, and even if you're wearing a long dress as a woman, your dress will sweep the dirt get on your feet and legs. I don't know. I think I would have to have that argument explained to me. I've even seen certain social media platforms where dermatologists have said, oh no, you don't need to bathe every day. Well, I beg to differ. You don't need to bathe your body every day. You don't need. My skin is not that fragile where it's when I take a bath that I just deplete all the oil out of my skin, that I'm just like this dry cake walking around because I bathe every day.
If I am a dry cake, then I put some more oil on.
Right. And
if that oil don't work, I'll go get some heavier oil. How about that?
And I don't understand how showering contributes to you just 100% depleting the oil level on your skin, unless you shower with lye soap. And who in the world does that anymore? You know, I just don't understand how. I know if you have sensitive skin, but there's products that's specifically made to target sensitive skin. So I don't even understand that argument. I mean, are you standing there? Are you like sudsing your body for like 30 minutes?
Are you in a shower so hot that you boiling the skin off your body?
I don't even understand that argument when I hear that. I just know that just, I guess for me and my level of hygiene that I'm comfortable with, when somebody else may not be comfortable, like my cousin friend that feels the need to shower after being out and in contact with people each time, you know. At least once a day, usually twice for me, but at least once a day I need to
I gotta put some water and soap on my body.
Yes.
And we talked about this earlier about people with mental health issues. One of the things that people with mental health issues, one of their things are, you can usually tell somebody if they're feeling sad or depressed because they don't
clean.
They don't shower.
They don't shower and they don't clean.
Okay, so
A lot of times.
with me, I have to. One of my things is, okay, because I know I'm bipolar depressive. I have post-traumatic stress disorder and I'm bipolar depressive. I know that I have to take my medication. And one of the things I make sure that I do to help me to where I'm not in a funk, where I'm in one of those bipolar funks, where I go into one of those depressive states and I can't get out of, I make sure when I get up, I brush my teeth. I take a brush and put it across my head, you know what I'm saying, and brush that hair. I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I get in the shower.
And those are victories. And people who have mental health issues, I have an immune disease. When you are in a state where, in my case, is when I'm dead tired, I'm hurting, I have to have that victory of getting out of it. I may not accomplish anything else during that whole day, but I'm going to get up, I'm going to shower, I'm going to take care of my dental needs. I may put back on a nightgown or some pajamas, and I may lay back down, but that's a victory. I have to have that victory to keep me on track, because if I just lay there, I'm giving in to it, and it's going to just take me for me, it's going to have me feeling worse physically, because it's something about getting up moving that helps my body. For my cousin, it could be that if she don't do it, then it's just a downward spiral from there.
Plus, people don't realize the bed's still your energy.
Yes.
The bed's still your energy. That's why they tell you if you're sick, you have to eventually get up and move.
Get up and move a little bit.
If it ain't but a second, but you got to get up and move a little bit.
But with hygiene, with mental health, is so very important that they get up and have that feel like, I feel human. I showered. I feel like a person, because if I didn't do nothing else today, I accomplished the fact that I got up and showered. And then too, with mental health and hygiene, it can also go all the way to the other extreme, and you have to look at that too, with people who are hyper vigilant in their
hyper diligent,
in their hygiene. Something could be, that could be.
What are they trying to wash away?
Also,
what are they trying to wash away?
Yes.
What are they trying to get rid of? What are they feeling guilty about?
Yes, it could be. I guess that pendulum could swing to the extreme on both ways. And then I guess when what we're talking about is there could be a lot of, like we said, the mental health issues. But the reason always when we're dealing with hygiene is to ask why. And once you ask that why and you find out, oh, well, because this is just what I was raised to do, or oh, I wasn't aware at all that I smelled.
Cousin. Okay.
I wasn't, some people just don't. They can't smell themselves.
First off, you know how we were raised.
That's how we were raised.
You know how we were raised. Our mamas didn't have no goats around us. No. My mama, I'm going to tell y'all, my mama's thing was, this was mama's favorite saying. First off, you smell like the outdoors. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You smell like outdoors, and you could not smell like outdoors in her house. Mm-mm. And she was gonna let you know that you smell like outdoors, right, and need to go put it in the tub.
But that's how we were raised. Now, before anybody come at me, now we were not abused when I grew up, but my mom, and I'm significantly older than my siblings, my brothers. I had came home on leave one time, and my baby brother was supposed to be taking a bath, and he didn't. And my mom bust up in that bathroom, and she beat him with a wet washcloth because he stank.
But I bet you don't stink now.
No, You know he
He
don't.
don't stink.
You know he don't.
Mm-mm.
Actually, he's one of those people who make sure he can't stand it to go without showering. But you know, that's a cultural thing with us, and we had parents who cared about that type of thing. But you know, there's some parents who really do not care about that type of thing.
That's true.
And the whole household smell that way, so they don't smell any different. They don't, you know, they can't detect that because everyone smell like that. Their car smell like that. Their home smell like that. You know, so they're not aware that they're offensive to other people.
Because it's not offensive to them.
It's not offensive to them. That's right. So they truly are not aware that they are offensive. And then once you tell them, okay, so you told them that there's a particular odor that they smell, and then they looking at you like, okay, but they don't know what to do about it after that because that's not part of. These are extreme circumstances, but they're not everybody's circumstances. But this is some people's circumstances. They just, you know, like, okay.
Some of them, they just don't know what to do with it.
And they be like, I bathed. Okay, you be like, okay, you bathed. But you bathed 2 days ago. You had bathed every day.
But the other thing is, what do you bathe with?
Yeah.
Did you just let water run over you?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you gotta ask some extra questions. You gotta do further questioning.
And how embarrassing is it to have to talk to an adult about this? We joking about it, and because it has been some circumstances that, you know, but how I've had to do this so many times with adults, and most of them are mortified to know what's going on with them, and some of them are just completely clueless. They looking at you like, what are you talking about? Some of them are just completely clueless. And then you have those few who really truly don't care, and then that's another thing going on right there. But you know, to have to be in a situation where you have to talk to an adult about this, then, you know, some people, that's not my business. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't want to do that. And you know, but someone has to do it because, like we're saying, you can't exist in society where you're just offensive to people. And your right to be stinky is when they interfere with my right not to have to smell it.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
No, I should not have to be subjected to smelling your body odor. I don't care how good of a worker you are. I don't care, you know, how nice of a person you are, whatever. You're talking about somebody who's so offensive that everyone notices it. Someone needs to step in because it's just not fair to the other people who have to be subjected to that for whatever reason.
That is true. That is true. And you find a lot of times that you have people that are that the ones I like the most are the ones that you tell them you're offending me, and they tell you no, I'm not.
Oh no. I'm just sensitive to that, I guess.
Baby,
I'm
you
just
offended me.
sensitive to-
No, I'm not offending you. Well, wait a minute. It's me. How can you tell me you're not offending me? And we find that a lot too. We find that a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Girl, I'm telling you, this conversation is just, I know y'all probably like, they had a whole hour's conversation about people offending
people hygiene.
People hygiene. But I'm telling y'all, we had these conversations all the time. I'm telling y'all, these aren't the only conversations we have, but we have conversations like this all the time, and it's hilarious to me because the stories that we could tell.
And it's not just, and to be fair, because I know someone's thinking this in their mind. Well, what about people who bathe and put on all that perfume, and that'd be offensive?
Yeah, that's offensive too.
That's offensive too. You know, that may be a smell that, you know, you have to be thinking about. What you're projecting around other people.
I have to be mindful. I have to be very mindful about putting on certain smells because I suffer from migraine headaches, and because I suffer from migraine headaches, I have hyper smell factors. I smell everything. It's like, ooh, what is that?
I used to. I don't anymore, but I used to be very sensitive about.
I'm very
But
sensitive
there's
to
certain
smells.
things that trigger me. There's certain things that do trigger me. But believe it or not, the smell of marijuana gives me the most screaming headache. And I'm not a headache person, but it gives me the most screaming headache. I don't know why that triggers me
Can I tell you something? I don't know what it is about marijuana. Marijuana smokers got the worst breath. Their breath worse than cigarette smokers.
Probably because of the.
I don't understand. I don't understand what it is, but marijuana breath is worse than cigarette people breath. I'm just saying. That's just to me. I don't like smokers' breath, and I can't stand smoker drinkers' breath. Or smoker coffee's breath. Oh God. Oh.
We have digressed. We apologize for our digression. But yeah, along that line too, scents and fragrances that could be deemed as being offensive, and that's another reason when you're speaking to people in your way, you could be talking about a fragrance and they go, well, I bathe and whatever. Well, it's not that it's the fragrance, it's too much or it's too loud or something that someone thinks smell good and it could be subjected to other people that it doesn't, especially when it's more than one,
I'm gonna tell you what I used to laugh at. All right, so like I used to have this friend. Before we go to the club, he would spray his clothes with the cologne. He'd get his shower and everything. Then he'd spray his clothes with his cologne. I'm like, bruh, you do realize that's good. That's good perfume. So you don't have to use this much. That's $90. You know what I'm saying? That's that $90 bottle of perfume. You don't have to spray all of that, baby. You don't have to come out the house smelling like the whole daggone perfume counter at the whole perfumery. You got my hair hurting because you got on too much.
Which could be, just as offensive. I just wanted to put that out there because that could be just as, if in case anyone was thinking, well, what about these people who do that and do that and do this? But basically the conversation we had was about people with bad or no hygiene whatsoever.
But putting on too much can be bad hygiene too.
So how do we, what is the takeaway?
The takeaway is wash your ass. I said it.
Yeah, and know how, a lot. Okay, listen, there is a process to bathing, to showering. There is a way to properly do this, as my cousin touched on. Now, I can only tell you what I use the washcloth, and I don't use a loofah. I use a Japanese bath cloth, and you can Google that and see what that is. But I use a washcloth, and I use the washcloth to wash behind my ears, in my ears. I use my hands to cleanse my face with facial cleansing or a facial cleansing apparatus. But anyway, so behind my ears, in my ears, I still use the washcloth on my underarms, and then in my inguinal private areas, and of course in between my buttocks, and then my feet, to go in between my feet, even though I do use my Japanese washcloth to go in between my feet too. Then I use my Japanese washcloth and start from the back of my neck to the front of my neck and straight down my body and my underarms again and all the way down to my feet. And then you need to rinse every ounce of soap off of you. And ladies, no soap in your vagina. Do not put soap up into your vagina.
Your vagina was not made for soap.
No, it cleanses itself on the inside. We're just talking about your vulval, your external area. The inside of your vagina will cleanse itself. It's naturally cleansing. And if you feel like something is smelling coming out of your vagina, you need to go see your doctor.
Go see the doctor.
Yes, and men, you bathe the same way that we do. Don't forget to wash behind your ears and behind the back of your knees. The back of your legs and your crease of your knees, because it stinks.
And I'm going to say this, and I don't want to make anybody feel offended or be offensive, but men, you need to pull back that skin.
Yes, definitely.
And women, you might have to depending upon your size of your area down there, you might have to spread.
Girl, get your squat on. Squat in that bathtub if you able. Get your squat on. Cleanse your external area, and you also have to pull back a little bit too. And
Yes.
cleanse in that area.
Yes.
You got to cleanse it all.
Yes.
Definitely clean, wash it all, and
Yes.
rinse the soap off your body.
Please rinse, because soap sitting on your body is just as bad
It's
as
irritant.
Yes, it's an irritant.
And another reason why deodorant may not work properly for certain people, you're not drying your underarm thoroughly. Dry, be bone dry in your underarms, then apply your deodorant. Make sure you're just bone dry. And in those creases and folds, because wetness and that causes bacterial growth. It's a warm, dark environment. That's all bacteria and fungus want. And certain viruses. They want to be in the warm, they want it to be dark, and they gonna have
a party. They gonna multiply. They gonna be fruitful and multiply, honey. Be fruitful and multiply. But I don't want bacteria and molds and spores and viruses being fruitful and multiplying on me. I don't want that.
So dry your body thoroughly before you put especially your underarms, before you put your deodorant on. And lift up that tummy and get down in that crease. And get that belly button. Stank! Don't forget that belly button. Please.
Girl, I was looking at a YouTube video, and I looked at the person's navel. They were doing something, and they actually had on like a crop top. And I was like, is that grossness in their navel? I was like, ew. What's going on with their navel?
Clean your navel out. You want a dark, smelly area? Ooh.
Especially the ones with them deep innies.
I have a deep innie, and I have to get in there. And I can tell y'all that I have cleaned many a patient prepping for surgery, and it's been disgusting. Disgusting in what comes out of their navel. So clean it. Clean all of it.
Please.
Yes.
So the takeaway to this conversation, the moral to this story is, please wash your body.
Your entire body.
Your entire body. Look, y'all, for some of y'all, part of your entire body includes the inside of your nose.
And the inside of your ears.
The inside of your ears.
Behind you.
Behind the ears, under your arm, in them folds. Look, right here in this fold. Look, y'all, my arm been folded right here, and it's been sweating. That's sweat, y'all, in them folds. And some of y'all know y'all got folds other places that y'all need to unfold.
And take those earrings out and wash those ears around those ears.
Did I come to girl? I just came in around laughing at you.
We're gonna have to let y'all go before we have an accident.
Girl, I just came in the wrong exit. Mess around with you when you said pull up earrings. Y'all know what? You know what I can't stand? When people take out their earrings and they smell like old chewing gum. Girl,
worse than old chewing gum.
Ooh.
That's why I said take those earrings out.
God.
And I am a person of multiple piercings, so take those earrings out.
Please do. Please do. Oh, Jesus. And get all that oil out of your ears. Believe me, it's oil in them holes. And squeeze them holes out. Let them, oh, Jesus. Let them ears breathe. Especially if you wearing them ring. Thank you, honey. Especially if you wear them earrings that turn your ears green.
Throw those away. Get a new pair. Because if you're wearing those, they're a dime a dozen. So throw them away and get a new pair.
Okay. I don't even know why I keep putting you by some bushes.
Okay.
Every time I park you next to a bush,
And I'm always
she always looking for a bug. But look, I'm the same way. You hate bugs. Y'all, look. This has been a conversation with Vivian and cousin. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Y'all, we're going to have another conversation. We'll probably have another conversation about something else crazy when we're going back up the road. But y'all, this ain't crazy. This is real talk. Real talk. Please, please, please be mindful of doing what you got to do. Take care of yourself, y'all. Because guess what? If you take care of yourself, you ain't got to worry about somebody else taking care of you.
That's right.
So, as Mama says, live, love, and laugh. And as my daddy says, Lord, make us a blessing so we can be a blessing. And I hope Cuzzo and I have been a thorough blessing to somebody. I hope y'all get this message.
Yes. And we weren't trying to be offensive to anyone. We're just speaking our truth.
Yeah, we weren't really we you're right. We weren't trying to be offensive to anybody. We weren't talking about anybody in particular. We were just talking about everybody in general.
Yes, and what we have encountered.
And what we have encountered. So you guys, be blessed. We out. Deuces, 2 fingers.